Hello Year 2, and this is the start of our new topic, the Great Fire. So in the 17th century, which was a long time ago, there was a fire in London that destroyed much of the city, and it was known as the Great Fire of London. So here we've got a map of Great Britain, and we've looked at this map loads of times when we were in Year 1. So can you find where London is on this map? Stop the video now and show the person that you're with where London is on the map. Right, did you spot it? Did you point to the right place? Well done if you did. So this map shows London today. You can see the blue circle that's going around roughly, that is the M25 motorway, and all within that area is London today in 2021. The black square is how big London was when the Great Fire of London happened. So it was a lot smaller than it is now. So here is a map of London that was made when the Great Fire of London happened. So you can see that it's a lot smaller. So this would now be central London, the very heart of London. And the person that drew this map, he also did some additional pictures that you can see at the top and the bottom of important buildings like palaces and hospitals. But what else do you notice about this map? What do you think all the green squares are? That's right, they're fields or bits of greenery. The only greenery that you see in London now are the royal parks, but there still would have been fields in London in 1066. What about the blue sort of snake-like thing that's going through the middle of the map? What do you think that is? That's right, it's the River Thames. So the River Thames obviously is still there, but you can see that it's a lot smaller than what it is today. So this timeline shows when the Great Fire of London happened. Right on the right hand side, in the greeny turquoisey colour, that's now the new millennium. And so can you see where the Great Fire of London is? In 1666, and the Stuarts were on the throne at the time. So the Great Fire of London happened in the year 1666. It began on the 2nd of September and it ended on the 7th of September. So it lasted for quite a few days. Can you imagine what it must have been like having that fire raging for all of those days? So have a careful look at this timeline. The Great Fire of London happened in 1666. So which century did it happen in? Now a century is a period of 100 years. And we use this word century to help explain when things happened in the past. So we live in the 21st century. So if the Great Fire of London happened in 1666, which century would this be? So well done, did you get it right? It happened in the 17th century. So it was nearly 400 years ago when the Great Fire happened. So what do you think London would have been like at this time? So pause the video now and have a think about how different it would have been to life today. Right, did you think about transport, what transport would have been like, what houses would have been like? Would there have been electricity? Would there have been fridges and televisions? Would there have been mobile phones? What did people wear? So this is Samuel Peeps and his wife Elizabeth, and he's a very important historical figure because he wrote a diary during the time that the Great Fire of London happened, and we're going to have a look at his diary a little bit more in the coming weeks. But look at the clothes that they're wearing. How different are they to the clothes that we wear today? Look at his hair. Look at her jewellery that she's wearing. Portraits often give us a clue as to what life was like in the past. So for your work today, on your sheet, I would like you to pretend that you are in London during 1666. And each of these speech bubbles, you've got to colour them in if they were true in 1666. So we travel by horse and carriage. Did you do that in 1666? We travel by car, bus or train. We wear jeans and t-shirts. Women wear long gowns. We have mobile phones. Men carry swords. Colour the things in that you think were true in 1666. And then the second thing that I want you to do is to answer these 4 questions. How did people travel around the city in 1666? What sort of clothes did they wear during that time? Can you name 5 things we have today that people didn't have in 1666? And can you name 3 things that are the same today as they were in 1666? Now the last 2, 3 and 4, you can draw pictures if you want to. Okay, so by now you should be able to say where the Great Fire happened and what year it happened in, and you should be able to tell the person that you're with a few things that are different now than then. Well done.